Hey, 15 years ago, I had a dramatic event happen in my life. Um, I was heading into the change of life, probably mid 40s, and suddenly I started to become anxious. I think it was um, probably a mixture of circumstance at the time, my physical age changes happening, and family baggage. At that time, I just started feeling more and more anxious. I tried to take on a job, and it was a complete failure. I just kept getting sort of panic attacks and wondered what was happening to me. I went to the doctor, and he said, "Oh, panic attacks. I've never heard of it." He said, "Take antidepressants," and I was like, "No way. I'm a Christian, and my family says no to antidepressants. You don't take those things." So I struggled along on my own and got worse and worse until I started to lose all my confidence. And then I got prayer. That didn't seem to be particularly helpful. I thought I was going to get major deliverance and everything would be hunky-dory, but it wasn't. Then I went to a counsellor, and it was really hard for me to actually. I was a counsellor in a car, and I had to stand there and tell him what was happening. But all I wanted to do was run, and I told him what was happening, and he said to me, "Oh, you don't meet a phobic every day, and you're probably going to struggle with this for the rest of your life." So we drove home, and I just went into the depths of depression after that. I just crashed into depression. Actually ended up having really a mental or emotional breakdown. Ended up in bed for about a month, couldn't really leave the house, wouldn't travel in cars with people. And life just became a living hell. I ended up on medication. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't eat. I lost weight. I lost total interest in life. And I started reading lots of books, praying a lot. Then one morning I got up, and this is after a month of lots and lots of medications and coming off medications, which was worse than going on them. And on the kitchen table was a CD lying there, and it had a little note, "Listen to this, Mum," with big exclamation marks. So I listened, and it was Grant Mullen speaking on the 3 chains that can lock up a person's life and bind them up. And I felt the guilt and shame beginning to lift off me, and that was the beginning of my journey to transformation, was the lifting off of that guilt and shame, and particularly in the Christian circle, but also just people in the world seem to think you're different, you can't be of any value. And I got my sense of value back, and a sense of hope that this just wasn't all my life, and it wasn't going to be for all my life. It was just a part of my life, and it was manageable. It gave me hope.